Hello. You made it to another episode of Lester Pipps, Apocalypse Tips with Lester Pipps. That's me. I am Lester Pipps, and I'm here to make sure y'all know what's going on and how you're gonna survive an apocalypse. That's what I do. That's what I love. That's what I care about. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, who the heck is this guy? Why is he supposed to be talking about the apocalypse? Well, I'll tell you right now. Who I am is Lester Pipps. I already told you that. Another thing that you should know is, I am a guy who knows a lot about surviving an apocalypse because I've been trying to do it since I became an adult, which happened in 2005, in my early 30s. See what happened in 2005, you wondering? Well, gosh, I would direct you to past episodes because I can't rehash my whole backstory every week. That would get boring for my returning customers. And I do consider y'all customers because you're buying what I'm selling, which is how you're going to survive an apocalypse. Oh, look at that. One of my returning customers is here. What up? That one guy kind of something. I'm so glad to see you, my friend. Now, I'm repositioning my screens here, so bear with me. Okay, there we go. It stayed in place. Nice. All right. So we all been in bunkers for a long time, right? We all been hiding out, trying to make sure none of us gets COVIDs, which would be terrible. If any of my friends and followers and families got COVIDs, well, I would have to be mad at COVIDs. And honestly, I'm already mad at COVID, so I don't know what I would do because that's pretty much my only option. I'm not a doctor. I can't solve it. But what I can do is make sure people know how they're going to survive it underneath the ground. So what I would first advise to you, this is something that I should have covered week one, and I realized recently that I didn't. Dig yourself a bunker. How did I not think to advise you to dig yourself a bunker? I'm so sorry. I should have been like, hey, everybody, dig bunkers. So anyway, yeah, you're going to want to dig yourself a bunker, get down there, live for a while till every COVID is gone from the whole world. And then you can come back upstairs, see what the world's like afterwards. Now, ideally, there's going to be some semblance of the most important culture in the world up there upstairs after the whole COVID situation is gone. And obviously, if you're thinking to yourself, I know what the most important culture is, then you're right, because it's Louisiana culture. Louisiana culture is the only thing that matters. That's how we're going to make sure that America or the world or people or humanity, however you want to grade, however you want to categorize folks, has a good way of life after the apocalypse is over. Okay? So let's think about this. How are we going to survive? How are we going to preserve Louisiana culture? Well, we're going to focus on what's important, right? There's jazz music. Sure, that's good. There's them Saints. Yeah, they're good, but there's no other football teams to play against. What's the point, right? But there's something that can always get back to you, something that can always make you remember how great it is to be a Louisianan. And that is, of course, Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen spicy chicken strips. And they are the greatest, and they are the most important thing, and they are what we are trying to make sure survives into the future. Sure, I've got a room in my bunker, which if you're looking behind me and thinking, wow, that's a weird bunker, that seems to be socialist. I'm not into that. It's just a picture I found. I can't let you see my bunker because I don't want you to be jealous. But yeah, I got a room in my bunker for like family, right? There's room for my son. There's room for my wife. There's room for any of my son's kids. There's room for Dr. John, even though he is a dead ghost. But none of them's down here, okay? Because I've been focused. I've been making sure I acquire for myself and for you, all you humans out there, the recipe and all the necessary ingredients for those Popeye's chicken spicy chicken strips. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to call up a Popeyes and we're going to get it. Now, you may have watched the show before. And if you are that one guy kind of something, I know you have. And you may have noticed that on the show for a little while there, hey, that one guy kind of said something, you're doing the Lord's work too by just paying attention. You may have noticed that in a lot of episodes, I would call it Popeyes and they would not answer. Because they put me on a list, a do not answer list, and a do not call back list, and a do not listen to list. I think those might have all been the same list, but I know I was on at least all three of them. But recently I've been getting answers, and I love it. So let's see what happens this time. I'm going to call Popeyes right now. Now, I did work on a system wherein you could hear the call better, but it didn't work. So we're sticking with the speakerphone thing. Okay, that's a ring. That's another ring. If it gets to 5 rings, we have to quit. That's the rules. Uh-oh, that's 3. Oh, no.
Hello?
Hi, this is Lester Pipps. I'm calling the Hollywood Popeyes.
Yeah, this is Hollywood Popeyes. Can I take your order?
Yeah, oh, well, I don't have an order. I have a very important question for you, and that is, do you want to be a part of making sure humans have Popeye's Louisiana chicken in the future?
I'm going to need for you to just say that a little bit slower. It's actually really loud right now, and actually my mask is covering parts of my ear. Can you just go ahead and just say that louder and slower, please?
Yeah. Do you want to be a part of making sure humanity has the recipe and all the necessary ingredients for Popeye's chicken strips in the future?
Okay, I think I heard spicy chicken strips. Did you want a 10-piece or a 12-piece?
No, I'm not placing an order. I'm asking you if you want to make sure that humans can have spicy chicken strips after the apocalypse.
Oh, I think we ran out of the spicy ones. Let me double check. Actually, that's a pretty long list.
What?
Hold on a second.
You ran out.
Sal, do we have how many did you want? Did you want the 10 or the 12?
Sir, what's your name? Sir, what's your name?
What's my name?
Yeah.
My name is Paul.
Paul, I got a question for you. Are you even listening to me? Because it seems like you're trying to solve a problem that's not the problem I'm asking you to solve.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, did you want some coleslaw? Is that what you said? You
No.
want coleslaw?
No, I don't want no coleslaw. No, I can make coleslaw myself. I got cabbages down here in the bunker. I'm just talking about how am I supposed to make your Popeye's Louisiana spicy chicken strips if I don't have the recipe? Can I have the recipe to spicy chicken strip?
Okay, I think I understand. All right, you're calling because you wanted to get the recipe for the spicy chicken strip?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Sorry.
That's what I'm saying, yes.
Is that what you said? Okay. No, we can't give that out. That's not something we can give away. Frankly, you are, I'm an essential worker. This is I don't really appreciate a crank phone call like this right now.
Hold on.
I'm dealing with a lot of things in my life right now, so I don't know. I don't know. Sal, give me a second.
Paul.
Sal, do you want the 10 or not? Do you want the 10 or the 12?
Paul, I don't want that, but let me just say, I know you're an essential worker. Wow. Paul.
Hey, Sal, you know what? I quit. I'm sick of these hours. I'm sick of being here. I quit, Sal.
Oh, no. Paul, are you still there?
Hello, this is Sal. Sorry about that. How can I get you? Would you want that 10-piece or do you want that 12-piece chicken strip? We'll get you later.
Sal, well, actually...
No problem.
No, Sal. Paul was...
Is it going to be Uber Eats or is it going to be
Sal.
Postmates?
No, Sal. Paul was just about to give me the recipe to all them spicy chicken strips. So if you could just fork that over, that'd be great.
I find that very hard to believe. Very hard to believe. All right. Well, I just want to say I'm an essential worker. I don't appreciate prank calls. I don't want to have prank calls.
No, this isn't a prank call.
You know what? Hey, Paul, get back here. You can't quit. I quit. Paul, get back here. I can't quit. You quit.
Oh, no.
Okay, so I quit. You quit. I quit. You quit. And I quit. All right?
Paul? Sal? Is anybody there? Oh. Well, I guess I'm not getting the recipe today. Huh. All right. Well, interesting. I think I just caused two men to freak out and lose their jobs. I never want to cause anybody to not have employment, but I do think that it's more important that we get that recipe than anything else. Now, I have some comments in the chat here. We got Connor donated some money to the Venmo for the Pack Theater, which, hey, man, thanks for doing that. That's really awesome. At ScanLive says I should offer him something in return for the strips. You got a point, except that what I'm offering him is the opportunity to be the face of the future, which I think is more than any kind of monetary or other physical compensation. And Victor Crack Cobain wants to know if I'm a dirty freaking commie, which I got to tell you, no, I am not. This is just a backdrop, okay? I already covered this for the people who were here on time, unlike you, Mr. Victor Crack Cobain. They already know. It's just a backdrop because I don't want you to be jealous or sad when you see how great my bunker is. Now, we do need to start the show a little bit here, because what we do here isn't just me yelling at a Popeyes guy. I wouldn't want to just yell at a Popeyes guy for a whole life. That would be a boring life, you know? So what I do is, on this show, I make sure that the folks who I've interacted with in my travels across the world doing all kinds of good work, talking to, hey, Victor, I'm glad you're a busy boy. On my travels, I gotta stop looking at the chat because it knocks me right out my rhythm, you know. What I was saying is, in my travels across the world, I've interacted with a number of folks who believe in the mission of making sure that people survive an apocalypse. I prior to all the COVIDs, I was going door to door to any open mic situation that would let me talk and talking about this, and I met a lot of folks there. So my guests are all folks who responded to my mass email saying, "Hey, who wants to educate the people?" And this week I got 3 great guests. Coming up, we got a couple of guys who I met at a fraternity party, which was very fun. We'll see what they're doing in the apocalypse. And we got a sex therapist, which that should be interesting. But first, I don't know if you could hear it, but the air ventilation system just turned on. Let me turn that off. It's very loud. Uh-oh, it won't turn off. Hold on. It does it. Sometimes you just got to jiggle the batteries. You know what I'm saying? You got batteries? Y'all got batteries? Somebody in the comments tell me if they got batteries. I'm just kidding. I know you got batteries. You're a human being. Okay, let's move on. So our first guest is someone who I met when I was in Australia, which is funny how many Australian guests we had, isn't it? It is to me. If you listen to past episodes, you know there have been a few. Is that a stick? I don't know. Adam Marmack, I don't know what you're referring to, and that's a confusing question. So I'm going to ignore it. Let's move on to our first guest. Our first guest, comes to us from Australia. Her name is, of course, Nadia Arnott-Brown. Nadia Arnott-Brown, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Murphy. My husband just set me up because I haven't really done any of this before. But hello, Lester. I've got to say, you're really persistent. My PA and my agent, to get me on this show. I recognise you now from your face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so you saying you didn't remember me just from the email? You had to, you just responded to my email because you wanted to see somebody?
Actually, my PA responded, and I thought, I'd jump on board because I'm all about connection and having a platform to voice and vocalize, especially as a mother. I think I need to connect with different kinds of people. Like, I'd never usually be in your inner circle, and you would never be in mine.
Well, Nadia, I suppose that's true. My inner circle is definitely mostly folks who also live in Louisiana, because it's easier to be in an inner circle with people who's right near you. My inner circle is my wife, my son, and, well, I haven't seen them in a while, but that's not the point. Now, why do you say you wouldn't be friends with me?
Well, you're very much all into, being in your bunker, and I love to be in the public sphere and be seen and, have some sunshine, but you're looking a bit pasty and pale. You haven't really been outside.
Well, okay, now that's true. I haven't really been outside because I am making sure that the bunker stays full of me. You know what I'm saying? That's a way of putting it.
That's why I'm here, and you reaching out because I was recently diagnosed with COVID-19 and I haven't been able to leave the house. That's correct. So I've really been learning from you.
Nadia, I'm so sorry to hear that. Obviously, I got to know what that's been like. But I also want to know a little bit about what your life was like before the COVID situation.
Well, I am a wife and a mother, and I just recently, 9 months ago, gave birth to little Justin here. You can see he's just been on the tit. So he's falling asleep. So soon I'll give him over to Murphy. But yeah, my husband is a football player, and I've just been really inspired to, like my idol, Al McPherson, I'm an entrepreneur. So you might know, it might be out in Louisiana, but I have a fragrance. It's called Worthy.
Oh, a fragrance called Worthy. Okay. So that's like perfumes then?
Yeah, it's a perfume. It's like the Amalfi Coast. It's really refreshing.
It smells like the Amalfi Coast?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Amalfi Coast?
No, I haven't. But I understand, the beach, I've been to Bondi Beach, so they're very similar.
Hey, that tracks for me. I think most beaches probably smell like beaches.
That's
now,
true.
So, but you got the COVIDs, huh? I mean, that must make it real hard for you to sell the fragrances.
Well, no, I have they're out in all the outlets, and that's an essential service. All the chemists are still considered essential, and thank goodness for all, the postage here. I don't know how it is in Louisiana, but in Oz, it's been really great. There's free postage. So
You know
that's
what?
been really
Something just
nice.
dawned on me that I think should probably have been my first thought. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is very important. Why are you holding your baby if you got COVIDs?
Oh, because, I'm all about motherhood, and I want, they did take him away from me, and I couldn't cope. So we're just keeping each other safe right now. And I don't believe that he will, get it from me. And if he does, then we're together.
Well, I suppose that's true, but it just seems like it's a very big risk to put your baby, expose your baby to the COVID situation. You said your husband's right there with you too, huh? Does he have the COVIDs, or are you
Well,
making him?
going back and forth. He usually is in his little man cave, but I really need support sometimes. This has been really hard for me not to be out and about, and I'm suffering too, Lester. So we've had to make some sacrifices, and I feel like you're attacking me a little bit, but family, and we shouldn't be separated at this time. And I've also, I've got another product I've been working on. It's called Nadia's Magic Water. So, this could also be a cure for the COVID-19. If we drink and we hydrate and we get our immune systems up, maybe it can disappear.
That's interesting. Longtime listeners will know that, or watchers or whatever you call an audience to a video feed, will know that we actually had somebody selling a miracle cure water a while back. Cobb Branson sold some Texan miracle water that was supposed to cure the COVIDs, and well, it didn't. What do you think makes yours more successful?
Well, it's coming from Australia, and I've had a big team on board to really get this to have it's been energized by citron and the different crystals and stuff. So I've been assured by all my team of scientists that this is the answer that we're looking for.
Okay, well, hey, if you got scientists on it, that's better than Cobb. He just drank it from his hose and thought it would cure him, and it didn't. That's great. That's great. I trust that your scientists maybe have a solution. Has it been working for you? Have you been drinking it and not having COVID symptoms?
Well, I haven't felt as fatigued as I usually was. So I think it is doing something. I do need to get the test in, so I've got to make a call and get the doctors in to get the next test. So fingers crossed, I can be on maybe next week and tell you that I'm in all clear.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Now I have a number of questions here for you in the chat. Victor Crack Cobain wants to know.
Just take Justin. I'm all here now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, hello to your husband. You said his name, but I don't remember. Victor Crack Cobain wants to know, why does that baby have a 5 o'clock shadow on its head? Well, I think that's just how babies work. They have less hair than adult people. That's normal. He also wants to know, does your husband do Australian or American football?
No, Australian, the AFL.
Oh, very cool.
It's been on hiatus, but it's coming back with a vengeance next week. So he's really excited to be getting out of the house, which is kind of concerning to me that he doesn't want to spend time with me. But he wants to see his teammates.
Hey, it's tough to always be with one person, and that's the way it goes. You gotta find your way to keep social in these times. For me, what I've been doing is occasionally watching the webcam that looks in on my son's room. And sometimes I even get to see my wife in there when she tucks him in for bed. Now, we have another question for you in the chat, and that is from that one guy, Connor says something, who he thinks you're an author. Is that true? You ever write a book?
No, but there's always a first time. I have so much time on my hands. Maybe a memoir of my experience being diagnosed with the COVID-19 would be something that would be enthralling to people. And like I said, I want to create a platform for a dialogue as a mother and as a sufferer and a survivor of this. So it was that, Connor. Maybe I will get a writer on board, and we could do that together.
Well, hey, that's a great idea. It sounds like you're the kind of person who's got all kinds of little businesses going on, and maybe writing could be one. You ever heard of Gwyneth Paltrow?
Oh, yes, she's got the goop. I am a subscriber.
Yeah, I thought you might be. That makes sense because it seems like you'd be into the goop.
Yeah, I just feel like we have a spiritual connection, her and I, like very similar.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I got one more question for you in the chat, and that is another one from Victor Crack Cobain, co-signed by Coolshawn.com. Wants to know if you like the how do you say this in a Louisiana accent? Bon Iver song Perth?
Bon Iver. I know them. Do they do like a soundtrack? I actually know that song. It's very mellow and a little bit depressing.
I don't know it. The only music I listen to is Dr. John and then the occasional large tuba that walks by when I'm hanging out in New Orleans.
Oh, you don't do the jazz? Like, isn't New Orleans where you're from all about the jazz music?
Well, sure, yeah, but I much like how I only want to eat Popeye's Louisiana, I also only like one musician, and that is Dr. John. I tend to pick one favorite and really go for it.
Okay, that's quite narrow-minded. It's just tunnel vision, like the bunker.
Well, some people say it's narrow-minded, but other people say it's smart because, if I wasn't solely focused on surviving apocalypses, then I wouldn't have been ready for this one.
You know what? Amen to you, Lester. You have all the answers. So you don't even know about Kylie Minogue or anything?
Oh, I'm aware of pop culture. Kylie Minogue sings a song or two, but I'm not a she's not the one who I built a room in my bunker for. Now, Shelly Rabe wants to know. Oh, Shelly Rabe also says that you're an inspiration, but Shelly Rabe wants to know.
Oh, thank you, Shelly Rabe, was it? Oh,
Shelly Rabe, yeah.
She should get in contact with me.
I bet she wants to. She wants to know what kind of music keeps you going these days.
At the moment, I'm listening to a lot of, those meditation, like waves. I'm listening to a lot of sounds of waves and beta music. Apparently it's supposed to keep you really calm. So I've been doing a lot of that and also some Kylie.
Kylie, sure. Well, hey, I'm glad we asked all those questions that were in the chat. We got a lot of new information that way. Now, I do have one more question, but this one's for me. It comes to me through my publicist / producer at Ezra Pardia on Instagram, at Ezra Pardia on Instagram, excuse me. This one comes from at Wailing Sarah, who, well, this is interesting. At Wailing Sarah looks like if you didn't have a hat on. She says, what's the last TV show you binge watched? Well, for me, the last TV show I binge watched was a running series of Popeyes ads on iSpot.tv. I really enjoyed every single one of them. They don't seem to string together in the way that a normal TV series would, but I did enjoy them. That's it for me. How about you, Nadia?
Well, I watched that Big Little Liars show. Anything Reese Witherspoon does, it's just phenomenal. So I've just been watching that and re-watching that. And Nicole Kidman's in it as well, my girl. I am very much about, supporting Australians. Do you know it was actually an Australian novel that they set in America?
I did not know that.
They did.
I bet the beach there, that Monterey Bay beach, would have a different smell than the one that you made than the Amalfi Coast. You should maybe make a scent about that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I don't think I will do that, but please do look out for Nadia's Magic Water. I will give you the website so you can, sell it for me, Lester. You're a great spokesperson.
Well, I don't sell products for anybody, and I'm not sponsored by Popeyes, but you should get, the only thing that you should be focusing on getting is the recipe to them spicy chicken strip. Now, we do have to move on to our next guest. Nadia, stick around, please. If you have any questions for upcoming guests, feel free to ask them. But let's move on to that next guest.
Thank you, Lester.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to get Mary to help me to just fix these.
Oh, okay, yeah. And hey, I kind of glossed over it because I felt uncomfortable about it, but good luck with that COVID situation. I hope you don't die.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's really kind of you.
Absolutely. And don't give it to the baby. All right. We gotta bring on that next guest. The next guest are actually two dudes who I met at some point. They were in a frat, and I was at the frat. I was doing what they called open mic night, and I called an available microphone for me to talk about the apocalypse. And I met them, and now they are trying to survive an apocalypse on their own. Their names are Jeff and Marshall. Jeff and Marshall, thank you so much for being here.
Lester, my dude, thank you for having us. You met us. There was that Loyola party. You said you were going to that thing, like some sort of mic thing. We followed you.
It was crazy. Lester, you're the man.
Dude, you rule, dude.
Lester, my fucking king.
Thanks, dudes. Thanks, dudes. It looks like you're still in party mode. I remember when I saw you, you was wearing togas, and now I see you again, you're wearing togas.
Dude, you're not going to see us wearing normal clothes, especially now. This is a new world, dude. We're in a new world of we're in our freaking pleasure world.
We're in our pleasure bunker. That's right. We're coming to you live
Whoa.
from the freaking horny hole in the ground.
What does that mean?
Dude, this is where it's all happening. This is where we've got 200 square feet. We got wine, we got peas.
We got VOD.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, you got a well-stocked bunker full of liquor, but I mean, how you doing on food?
Oh, we got everything.
Delivery.
Stamina up. We got delivery, dude. Just take it away, man.
Oh, you're
You
getting
ever
delivery down in your
Postmates?
bunker?
Oh yeah, we got Postmates. We got Seamless. We got Eat Street.
Every one of those delivery drivers, that's an opportunity. We're trying to build our connections here. We're like, hey man, you want to come down here?
Oh, that makes sense. You're trying to build up a society of survivors down in your bunker.
Yeah, dude, we're trying to build up a friggin' baka.
Yeah, with like freaking mostly hot chicks, but like some guys too.
We know we got to keep the ratio up, but let's be honest,
Yeah.
we know what our market is.
Oh, okay. So it sounds like you're trying to basically have a frat party down in a bunker.
Dude, now you're catching on. Now you're interested.
Dude, Lester, I knew you were fucking cool, man.
Dude, I knew you were down. I knew you were
I
down.
knew it from the moment we saw you at that open mic talking about the end of times and stuff.
Dude, from the moment we came up to you and we said, hey man, what are you doing after this? Can we tag along? I knew you were cool.
Yeah, from the moment we asked you if you knew any hot chicks and you said no, that's how we knew you were freaking cool, man.
From the moment that we walked out into the parking lot and you said, hey man, nice to meet you guys, good night. And we knew that meant the night's just starting.
That's right. You guys followed me for hours.
It was so crazy.
It was great, man. It's just like great, meeting people like that.
Like walking down the streets of New Orleans, like just seeing the nature and the music and the babes walking on the street, and then us on either side of you, arms in arms.
Yeah, I was trying to get out because I had somewhere to be, but you were holding onto my arms real tight. It was almost as if you were afraid to let me go.
Lester, my dude. When you look back on that night 20 years down the line, are you gonna think about the somewhere you needed to be? No, dude. You're gonna think about the freaking shots on Bourbon Street, dude.
Bourbon Street.
Yeah,
Walking down the freaking French Quarter with your boys.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty epic night, and I will say I had a great time, and I'm glad to have met you guys. And honestly, I don't usually drink like that. I'm a happily married man to a woman who is separated from me, and I try to focus on that more than I focus on other things. But that night it was a good escape. And hey, I did think it was strange that you guys seemed like you didn't feel comfortable going anywhere without an adult to supervise.
What?
Dude,
What?
dude,
No.
come on. Are you busting our balls, dude?
Okay. We thought it was strange to see like a grown man yakking as much as you were.
Oh, got him, dude. You fucking got him,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm nothing without you.
Dude, I'm nothing about you either, dude. You rule.
You fucking rule, man. I love this bunker with you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't usually drink that much, and it's odd when you start mixing all the different alcohols together like y'all do. I got a couple of questions coming at you from the chat, which Victor Crack Cobain wants to know what y'all's favorite sketch team is and your least favorite, which I don't understand why that question would come up. It seems irrelevant to what we're talking about, but that's the question.
I don't know shit about art, dude. I'm sorry, man. I really can't answer.
Like drawing. I like that one video, the Aha video, where they draw.
Dude, that was pretty good.
I like the Real Big Fish cover.
Dude, Real Big Fish, man. That's a blast from the freaking past, dude.
Rick, man. My older brother used to listen to that. I'm a Zoomer.
I also have a question from Hot Boy Song, who wants to know if Marshall has ever touched Jeff's stash.
Yeah. How else are we supposed to trim it? Great question, though. Really appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
What
So
am I
you
supposed to do? Trim myself? We don't have mirrors down here, dude.
No mirrors, just wine and chicks on our phone numbers.
Yeah, we're,
so you guys are kind of like, you've been hanging out in your bunker alone together for, let's say, like roughly 3 months now, all by yourselves.
oh, we got a lot of people on the way.
Yeah, they're coming.
Dude, we sent out hundreds of invites back in March.
Text.
Sure.
Facebook events, like Twitter invites.
And we got at least like 12, like that
confirmed like not coming, I would say.
Oh, we did. Yeah, we got some RSVPs on the no side for sure.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that night we were together was, you told me that you had planned a frat party in New Orleans, and you had noticed that nobody was coming, so that's why you followed me somewhere else.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We didn't go to Loyola. We showed up.
We showed up there. We were cruising, man, looking for trim.
We tried to show up at AKIO, and they said none of that,
They
dude.
said, please leave the premises.
Majorly unchill.
And then we found you. Our night turned around, Lester. You saved us, man. We owe you.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it was a fun night. But what I'm saying is, it seems like there's maybe a pattern of you guys trying to get a lot of people to come hang out with you, and maybe not having so much success.
Huh. I mean, I didn't really think of it like that, but I mean,
surely you've had that was just one night, right? That was just one night with us, and then it's one time with the bunker situation, which, to be fair, most people are probably staying in their own bunkers, which is why they're not coming to yours. Surely you've had like a successful party in your life, right?
Sorry, bros. My internet connection just lagged out there because this freaking knucklehead over here must be probably freaking streaming porn or some shit.
Oh, guilty as charged. Okay, sorry. Hold on. I missed your question too because I was looking at these hot milfs on here.
Okay. All right. Listen, if you guys maybe uncomfortable talking about how it's been tough for you socially, that's okay. We don't have to get into it.
Dude.
What? Tougher socially?
What is this, dude?
Oh, what are you, my court-ordered therapist? No.
Oh, nice, dude. Up top. Nice up top, dude.
Up top.
And what are you, my hot mom?
Dude, she's hot. I've seen her. I picked up
Dude,
my
she's
phone.
so hot. She's so hot. I text her every morning and every night, dude.
I love you, mommy. I love you.
Oh, I love my mommy.
Oh wow! And hey, you got a mom that seems like maybe you would maybe want to quarantine with her instead of with Marshall.
Dude, why can't we all quarantine together? That's my question, Lester.
Dude, she got an invite.
Maybe instead of in the bunker that you built, maybe your mom's got a bunker with like your whole family. You could be with you could all get together with the family a little bit.
No, we invited her, man. I think she's coming, right, Jeff?
Yeah, she wanted to stay with Keith, actually.
Oh, fuck, dude, that blows.
Brother Wags in the chat is
I don't
telling me not
care.
to hurt you guys, and I feel like maybe I pushed it too far. I'm sorry.
Dude,
Let's change tax.
You
Let me
can't
change
fucking
tax.
hurt us.
You can't hurt us, dude.
You can't hurt us.
Oh, I'm
You can't
sorry,
hurt
bro.
Steel. My abs and stuff.
I'm sorry, bros. Brother Wags points out you're fragile white males, and if I know anything about being a fragile white male, it's I shouldn't push buttons, because when I get my buttons pushed, I don't like it, so I won't push yours. Now let me ask you a question coming to me from somewhere else. One guy, Connor something, wants to know if you two have struggled to develop a new sleep schedule in the COVID bunker era, and if so, what's your sleep schedule like now?
Oh, it's crazy. We sleep in like 3-hour increments, wake up, butt chug a little, go back to sleep, rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat.
On the weekends, we reach a state of continuous browning out. We're never
amazing.
Never fully awake.
No.
Wow. It's like a constant party down there.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. That sounds great. You got to have fun however you got to have fun. Right on. Now, would you say that that partying together is like, the thing that you okay, let me rephrase this question. All right, I figured it out what I'm trying to ask. When this ends, when all this is over and you can go back upstairs to the whole real world, you're gonna keep partying together, or you're gonna go see other people?
Yeah, dude.
What? We're partying together until the day we die, which will definitely be together when we're partying. I'm gonna do this shot of VOD live on the camera.
Dude, I'm gonna take a big sip of wine because my tummy's hurting pretty bad for the last couple of months.
Your tummy's been hurting bad for a couple of months?
Yeah, me
from
too.
these last couple months because of how hard we've been partying.
Yeah. I have this like dull ache on the right side of my body, right below my lung.
Oh yeah, and frankly, the sleeping situation here, we don't really have beds. You can see both sides of our bunker here. We're in a lot of muscle pain.
And we're fighting over the chair.
Yeah,
Constantly.
it's actually a pretty big point of contention.
Yeah, and like we just wanted to address this to get the elephant out of the room, but please don't mention it again.
Okay, I won't. Now, Victor Crack Cobain says rock chalk. Do you know what that means? He seems to think you know what that means.
Bro, we're more Roll Tide, dude.
Fuck, Roll Tide, bitch.
Come on, dude.
Dude, get out of here with that shit.
Get out of here with that Big 12 shit.
Get out of here with that Big 12 shit.
Oh, I should know what that means, huh? I don't. But that's okay. I just work for LSU as a football video coordinator prior.
Dude, Tigers?
Yeah,
dude, that's tight.
Go Tigers.
Fucking Tigers. Go Tigers.
That rips, dude.
Ripped hard.
Yeah, it was a good time working for them. I got to watch football and call it a job.
Damn.
Hell yeah, man. I would do anything to trade with you.
Me too. I would do anything to trade to have your life. Just
Dude,
have,
if I can have your life, God.
Oh my God. I would do anything.
It was pretty good. You think you're an idiot? Why do you say that?
What?
Whoa, I didn't say that.
No, I said I would do anything. Sorry. I would do anything to have an ex-wife like you. Like at one point you were in love, right?
Oh, hey, she's not an ex-wife. She's a current wife who is legally separated from me.
Oh, my bad.
Well, in that case, I'm sorry because you still got the old ball and chain.
Well, Brother Wags asks, why are you in a bunker and not outside if you're trying to party?
Because the party's gonna be down here.
The party's gonna be in the bunker.
We've got like 100 people we've invited.
Yeah.
And if we step out, we finally get our first guest and we're not here, dude, that would be disastrous.
It's disastrous. Not to mention, if we step out, who's gonna guard all the Jaeger?
True, dude. That shit goes down.
Who's gonna guard the Jaeger? Who's gonna guard the Red Bull? Who's gonna guard the vodka?
You might have more people, come if you dressed up the bunker a little bit.
Whoa.
Some colour.
Oh,
Just,
dude.
put that out there.
Might be a fiction poster.
I've got like a couple Sopranos DVDs we could put out.
Dude, I should bring the futon.
Yeah. Bring the
good.
Yeah, I mean, dang, Ms. Arnott-Brown. I mean, what are you doing tonight?
Yeah, what are you up to?
What are you up to?
Me? Well,
Yeah.
so if you could fly me out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
we'll do
my
that.
data. Yo, he'll freaking give me the Amex.
I'm sure a lot of people would come and see me.
Now, guys, I should point out real quick, Nadia does have coronavirus.
Oh yeah, that's totally cool. We both have.
Dude,
it,
we're
too.
down with the Brovid. Dude,
Yeah.
we've been very sick.
Yeah, coughing a bunch.
Oh,
Dude,
okay,
it's-
so you have COVID too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. Everybody down here.
Yeah.
We should all get together and celebrate and not, be ashamed.
I would love that.
I'm into that, dude.
Wow, okay.
I would love that.
It seems like maybe you should, instead of being in a bunker waiting for a party to start, maybe try out like a hospital or something where they can treat your COVIDs.
Bro, no one's partying in a
I
hospital.
was partying in the hospital. They wouldn't let us bring our booze in.
We
That's-
tried.
We tried. We tried to get one of those.
They've got those little TikToks, the nurses and the doctors are dancing. So we could make a party there.
Yeah, but like they wouldn't let us put vodka in the IVs, so we got the fuck out of there.
Well, that makes sense. Listen, I'm surprised to have so many guests that have COVID. This is the first time I've had one. Honestly, I feel bad for you guys, but at the same time, I feel a little bit okay for you because you seem so happy about it, and at least you're together.
Yeah, we got each other. That's all that matters at the end of the day, right, man?
Promoting connectedness.
That's so
Each
true.
other, and we've got, I'm calling it end of next week. We're gonna have like 100 people down here.
Yeah, 100, 150,
Promoter.
easy. Once we get our socials in line and stuff, it's just gonna be just natural.
Well, hey,
Dude,
I'm
this thing's gonna be
speaking
blown
of
up.
socials. I do have a couple of questions coming to me through my publicist Ezra Potter, who's at Ezra Potter on Instagram. You follow him. You send questions in. I'll end up saying them on the air. This one actually, I got the same question from two different people. One guy named at coolsean.com, who oddly enough looks exactly like Jeff, and then a guy named at Golden Schauer, which is spelled SCHAUER, not the way shower is spelled, who looks, God, so much
Golden
like
shower,
Marshall.
dude.
Golden, yeah, it's a funny one.
That's
Nice.
funny.
Nice, dude. That's
Oh,
good.
dude. Oh, that's nasty.
Dude.
Yeah, he looks exactly like Marshall. Now, both of them asked me the same question, which is, how can we meet women when the world above is a hellscape? And hey, that's a great question. For me, what I've been doing is mostly just trying to call my wife every once in a while. But my good friends on previous episodes have recommended trying out a Tinder situation or OkCupid, because people are still trying to match. You just have long conversations and don't necessarily meet up.
Oh, damn. Like dating on our phone and stuff?
Dude, I'd be into that. I mean, I just wonder if I'm ready for like
That
something
commitment.
that feels like one-on-one like that. Like
It'd be tough to go out there without like the support that El Jefe offers. You know what I'm saying?
dude, me and the old marshmallow. Like what am I supposed to do without it?
Fuck, what are we supposed to do? We support one another.
Well, you could try making a joint account. Get the two of y'all, one picture, both of you.
Shit.
See who you match with. You never know. One lady might be looking for two dudes, or
Like
an account that's two ladies might be looking for two dudes.
Oh shit.
Dude,
El Jefe.
marshmallow, baby.
I think we might have our freaking ticket to Party Town, USA.
Hey, I hope so, but I also hope that you don't meet anybody and spread that COVID. Now, we do have to move on to our next guest. One last thing, Hot Boy Song wants to know if I would go quarantine with you bros and because you seem lonely. Let me just say, I'm staying in my bunker, you stay in yours. I don't want to get that COVID, but
Whatever, dude.
Dude, whatever.
but that's
We
Hot
didn't
Boy
need it
Song's
anyway.
opinion. Now, you guys stick around. If you have any questions for the next guest, feel free to ask them.
You got it.
My next guest.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, great. My next guest is a sex therapist, actually, which is very interesting. I haven't had one of those on the show before. Dr. Judy Johnson. Dr. Judy Johnson, thank you so much for being here.
Hello, of course. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Judy, you're a sex therapist. How's that work in a quarantine situation?
Oh, it's easy. I have a lot of high-profile clients. Some of them you might have heard of. Mr. Weinstein, Mr. Epstein are some of my high-profile clients, and I'm still actually working with them despite all of this quarantine nonsense.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, my first thought is I don't think you're supposed to tell people who your patients are.
Oh, I love to talk about it. And you know what? They don't mind either, because actually a lot of their relationships are public record.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Those are two real bad dudes. Now, you said you're still working with Jeffrey Epstein?
Yes, I am.
Uh-huh.
He's on an island in the Bahamas, and I go to visit him sometimes, and I make sure he's doing okay.
That's interesting, because it was very, big news when he got murdered / killed himself.
What?
Well, it was in the news that he hung himself in a prison cell.
No, my clients are great men. They would never go to jail, mainly because they have too much money. So no, he's doing great. I just FaceTimed with him and he showed me his penis and I said, stop it. I'm your therapist. I don't want to do that. He said, you're too old for me anyways. And we laughed for quite a while.
Well, Dr. Judy, that's interesting news to hear. It sounds like maybe they're not telling you everything about their lives, because both of those dudes definitely went to jail and one of them is for sure dead.
Speaking of dead, you guys must be dead inside. I could help you and those two boys in Klan's pajamas. I don't know what they were wearing.
That's togas, not Klan pajamas. That's a very big difference. But I see where the confusion is, because they all white robes. You mean
togas? Togas, dude. Togas.
These are toga.
Well, you boys could do better than you're doing now. Let me tell you, all you have to do is become a client of mine, and I can teach you how to trick women and get them into your house.
Wow.
I'm in.
I'm 100% in.
Yeah, that's what most guys say when I tell them what I can do.
Well, Dr. Judy, I mean, listen, I'm not on board with the message, but I am on board with hearing how it would be done. So go ahead and teach us a little bit.
Well, here's the thing. If you have quite a bit of money, that makes my job easier. If you don't have so much money, we can work on your story, how you present yourself, which is going to be lying, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, men are meant to have many partners in varied ages and stages of their lives. It doesn't matter who's saying yes and who's saying no. What really matters is happiness and finding people, lots of people to be with.
Okay, that's it's interesting to hear that from a sex therapist, because that sounds like more of what like douchebag men say, and then they would get sent to a sex therapist to get that kind of like worked on.
Yes. Well, that sounds like something I've heard before. And a lot of people say I'm the death of feminism. I'm setting us back to place, quote in a Times article, I'm setting us back to place we never even were to begin with. And I don't like that. I think that's overstepping bounds, which by the way don't exist. Boundaries are something that we just made up about 10 years ago. And if you ask me, if something was just made up 10 years ago, I don't really care to know about it. Although a lot of my clients would, because they like 10-year-olds.
Wow, that's I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Now, so you worked with those two, Epstein and boy, I forgot the other one because the Epstein one was such a shocker. Weinstein, that's right, big old Harvey there. Pleasure to hear he got the COVID. You know what I mean? But have you worked with any other big high-profile clients?
Oh, Mr. Cosby, we had a great time in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s.
Is that right?
That's right. Listen, anyone who who's a big player in the puss game, I probably had a hand in it.
Oh, is that right? Did you ever work with the Tiger Woods?
Absolutely. Love him.
Interesting. Okay. You ever work with a client who, you disagreed with?
Yes. I do have some clients who are married who want to work on their marriages to make them better by working with just their wives. And I say that's a different kind of thing. I'm not into this silly little you and me bullshit. It's very hippy dippy, if you ask me. So I say if you have a problem in your marriage, then that probably means that the solution is outside of your marriage. You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying.
Really, I've got a question, Dr. Judy. My husband has been spending a lot of time in his little man caves, since the COVID-19. What can I do to get his attention? Are you saying that I should bring someone in from the outside?
Yes. If you have any young neighbors, I don't know, maybe 13 and below.
Dr. Judy, I should point out, Nadia has coronavirus. So maybe interacting with other people is not great.
You know what? It's actually fine, because this thing everyone's talking about right now, the heart on your lungs, is killing some people, blah, blah, blah. I've gotten this every single summer since I was 12, actually. And it's not a big deal, not contagious. It's fine. You're going to be okay. The more sex you have, actually, the better. Because when you exchange downstairs fluids, your upstairs fluids don't mix. So if you are having sex with somebody, then you cannot transmit a disease mouthwise.
Oh, well, hey, I guess that could work for you, Nadia. Now that I'm thinking about it, it does make sense that you would think that, because the folks who you advise on sex are definitely people who do not kiss. They just fuck. Now, I'm actually going through something that kind of toes the line between what you would advise and what you would not. Now, I am happily married to one woman, which I would like to continue to be. However, she considers us separated. So I would kind of have to trick her if I was to, keep us together.
Well, you know where she
handle
lives.
That situation? I do know where she lives. Yeah. I'm actually in her backyard.
That's amazing. Now, listen, you could go two routes. It's either you sneak in or you snatch her and put her into where you are. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
either way, you get her alone, put her down. I mean, depending on how much she fights you, you maybe have to calm her down with a sedative, or hit her in the head. Whatever works. But
Okay, I see the
once you
confusion, because
start-
what I'm hoping for is that she would want to be with me again, not that I would force her to be.
what I find is that the more you force, the more someone wants.
Ooh.
So if you start with the force, she'll eventually become so confused that she thought it was her idea. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I'm not sure I agree or understand, but I definitely see. Now, you said that you were written up in the New York Times as in a negative way.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I remember reading that article saying that you didn't actually have any kind of accreditation. You are in no way legally a doctor.
And I hear that all the time. I hear that from other doctors, from, people who think that they know what a doctor is. And this is the thing. The idea of a doctor was created about 10 years ago.
No.
So if we want to follow what was created 10 years ago, I guess we'll all be wearing flip-flops.
I don't understand that, because actually flip-flops are real old sandals, and doctors are real old too. I have a question for you in the chat coming from that one guy, Connor something. He would like to know, do you know Dr. Drew? Is he a peer? Is he a quack?
Dr. Drew. Dr. Drew was a client of mine as well, in fact. And I helped him get hordes of women, 7 and under. And he loves me. He loves me, but he won't say publicly because, a lot of my clients, they don't want people to know that I'm their doctor and what we talk about. But I tend to just tell people because I think, honesty is the best policy, and especially in medicine.
Yeah, well, yeah, in medicine, I would think honesty would be the best policy. That tracks for me. And Dr. Drew being a bad guy, that also tracks for me.
Yes.
I'm not surprised by that in the slightest. Now, listen, there's somebody who I try to never bring up on the show, but I feel like this is the right time to do it. You ever talk to big old Donald J. Trump?
Oh, he's a great client. He's one of the best. When I met him, he was so dopey and stupid. And then we really worked, and he became quite a fox, quite foxy in the bedroom. He had one wife when I met him, and it was pathetic. And I helped him understand that no, you can lie and say you have more money than you do, and you could get a lot more women. And so you might say that I'm responsible for the presidency today.
Well, that is shameful. I'm sorry to know you. Now, I have a question for you in the chat. Do you know Charlie Sheen? Do you work with him?
Little Sheeny baby Sheen. Yes, I do know him, and he's great. Let me tell you, teachers have star students. Doctors have star students. Okay.
Students, yeah. It makes sense that you would call him a student, not a patient, since you're not a doctor, and it seems like you're teaching bad habits, not actually curing anybody of anything. But I do have a question for you. That was from one guy, Connor something. That one guy, Connor something. I can never get your name right. At least I'm not calling you Stoner Guy or whatever I was calling you before, Connor. Thanks for keep coming back every week. Judy, I'm wondering. Yeah, we don't have too much time left, but I do have to ask you this. How's your home life? You got anybody you love?
I have many little boys who I come and make them come to my house. I have tricked people in so many different ways. It's very easy to get children to come to your house and have sex with them because they're so small.
Oh, no.
And they don't know what's going on. And here's the thing, they don't have money. So they can't buy candy or toys or anything that they want. So if you're an adult and you have a little bit of money, it's very easy to have sex with a lot of kids.
Okay, well, I don't advise that, and in fact, it's really, really, really illegal and bad. Now, we do have just enough time for one last word from everybody. So, Nadia, if there's any last word you'd like to give to our listeners, anything that my listeners might learn from you, anything you want to say.
Just to be open and vulnerable and be open to connecting, especially at this time in the world when we are COVID-19 affected. I think we should all, get to our platforms and just talk, especially mothers. And if there's any mothers out there that are affected or experiencing their husbands in their man cave, please reach out to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nadia, it seems like you maybe were a little bit too open and vulnerable considering you got the COVID, but I hope you don't die from it. I hope you keep your baby safe. I wish you weren't holding it right now. Jeff, Marshall, anything you want to say? Please tell me you haven't taken any of Dr. Judy Johnson's advice.
Well, I will say it took a turn there, so I don't know now, but if I had any last words, I would say dilly dilly dude.
Dude, my last words are, what's up?
Oh, nice, dude, up top. Freaking
Up top.
It's interesting that you guys are clearly facing the same direction since I can see the chair behind you, but when you high five, you both hit forward. Dr. Judy Johnson, anything you want to add? You know what? Actually, I don't want to give you another platform.
Well, I do have one more thing to say, actually, now that you asked. All I need to say this time, especially in this dark time, is that all you need is love. And don't let someone, whether it be Johnny Law or a nosy neighbor, tell you that that kid is too young and can't have sex with you.
If anybody is a kid, they are too young and you can't have sex with them. Okay, it's time for us to get off the stream. So listen, if you're watching, thanks for doing that. If you want to see old episodes, they're at ezrapotter.com/Lester Pipps. Also, that's where you can find information about who these guests were, except Judy Johnson. I'm not putting her information out there. I'm just kidding. Thank you. That one guy kind of something says, great show as always. Thank you very much. And last but not least, actually, maybe even most important, hey, if you like the show and you want to support live comedy / places where you can see very important apocalypse tips, that would be a good thing for you to do would be to support the Pack Theater. So you can donate to @Pack-Theater on Venmo. That one guy Connor something already did. Thanks, man. You get a shout out on the stream, which is cool. And also, you're doing a good thing. If you'd rather give your money to people who's dying, that's cool too. Or maybe you just need to support yourself. That's cool too. But if you got spare cash, throw it to the pack. Stick around for, nope, there's not a show after us, so you can live your merry lives however you want to. All right, thank you very much. Lester Pipps, out.